Now for this screencast on HashMap, we're going to create a new project from the command line app template, and we're going to call it HashMap example. Inside of here, what we're going to do actually is we are going to create a new class, and we're going to continue using the person class as an example. The person has a name. The person also has an age. And this time we'll also provide the person with an integer that represents the social security number of that person. So we're going to create a constructor. And that constructor is of course going to take 3 parameters. So we have a string name, an int age, and an int social security number. We're going to assign the attribute name, the value of our parameter name, the attribute age, the value of our parameter age, and the attribute SSN, the value of our parameter SSN. Since we're using encapsulation here, what we're going to do is we are quickly going to use the refactor capabilities of IntelliJ to provide us with some getters and setters for the private attributes. So we're going to do it like this. So now we've auto-generated the access and mutator methods for each of our attributes, so we can access them from other classes. And then we're going to go into main. And in here, what we're going to do is we're going to start up by creating some person objects. First one is John, he's 35, and John has a social security number of 111111. Of course, this doesn't map to actual social security numbers, but hopefully it helps illustrate the point here. We'll call the second one Simon. Simon is 22 and he has a social security number which is also very easy to remember, made out of 6 2s. And then we're going to add a final person. And this person is Christina. And Christina, she is, let's say 25. And Christina has a social security number of 333333. Right. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a hash map. And we're going to use this hash map to look up information on different persons. So first off, what I'm going to use is I'm going to code towards an interface. So we're going to use the map interface. And the keys in this interface, in this map, is going to be integers. And the values are going to be persons. And we're going to call this person_db, the variable. We can just split this into declaration and import the map, and then we can continue here. And we're going to create a new hash map as a specific instance of map. And HashMap, of course, implements the map interface, which means that we are allowed to use polymorphism in the sense that we're doing it here. Now we're going to add our persons to this database. And the way that we're going to do it is we're going to say person_db.put, and then we're going to provide each of our persons with a key. Now we would like to make a lookup based on their social security number, which means that we'll use the social security number from each object as the int key, and then we're going to add, of course, the corresponding person object. This means that now I can get a person from this map based on the social security number. We're going to demonstrate this in a bit, but first let's put the remaining 2 persons into the map as well. So we have a P2 and we have a P3 here, and of course those maps to their corresponding person objects as well. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to write a small terminal program that will allow a person to look up information on persons in the database if they can provide the right social security number. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a while loop, and we're going to call make an infinite while loop. And now before we fill in the body of our while loop, what we're going to create is we're going to create a scanner. And this scanner is provided with the input stream from systemin. So we're going to take input from the keyboard. And down here, we're going to write out a simple message. Welcome to the person database system. Please provide the social security number that you would like to look up. And down here we're going to make an int, and we're going to call this input SSN, and we're going to take that from the scanner. So we're going to say scanner.nextInt, and then we're going to get a person object from the map based on this social security number. So we're going to say person looked up person, because why not? And this person we're going to get from our person DB. So we're going to say person.get, and here we're going to get it based on the input SSN. Now, it may occur that a user of our terminal program inputs the wrong social security number and that no such person exists. In this case, the get method will return a null value. So we need to check if our looked up person is null before we attempt to do anything with them. So we're going to say, or her, so we're going to say if not, or actually, if looked up person not equals null, this means that we don't have a null pointer reference, system out println person information, and then we're going to write system out println, and we're going to put here person name, and then add the, I'm beginning to regret that we chose such a long name for our variable here, but we are committed by now, so we'll have to continue with that. So that's the name, and down here we have the age, and that's about it. We don't want to put out the social security number, as this was an input from the user of our program. And we're going to provide some feedback as well. So we're going to say, in case that this person does not exist, which is the case when the looked up person is a null reference, we're going to system out println, and we're going to write person does not exist in the database. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this welcome message just outside of the loop. But this one I'm going to keep, because this one states that now the program, or the terminal program, is ready to receive a new social security number as an input. So let's try and go ahead and run this program. So here we see that the console asks us to provide a social security number. So we can start out by providing a 111111, which should exist, and we are expected now to get the information about John, because that was his social security number, and that is the key that we placed him with in our person DB map. So let's see what happens. Person information, John. Person age, 35. So now we can try and go ahead and see if we can get a hold of Christina. We could get a hold of Christina as well, and now we can try and go ahead and provide an invalid number and see what happens then. Person does not exist in the database. Please provide the social security number that you would like to look up. So here we have demonstrated one use case of a map, namely a hash map. We used how to populate the hash map, and we show how to fetch things from the hash maps using the get method. And we know now that we need to be aware of the fact that the get method in our map might provide us with a null reference in case we are looking up on a key that does not exist.